Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you. Well, it's taped. It's not live and direct today, but hey, it's live nonetheless, man. Hey, we're coming to you on a Monday morning, I should say. Here to talk about ping pong, tabletop tennis today, man. We got a special guest today, man. It's going to be real interesting to get into it with our guest today. But before we meet our guest, hey, let's meet the crew. We only got one today. D-Dubs, what's up, bro? How are you today?
What's good? Good morning. Well, late morning. You know, about to be afternoon here, and be doing something fun today.
With your
chasers,
with your sling.
Yeah, well, no, it's more of ice, bro. I need some ice, man. Rotated cuff stuff is you know how it is.
Oh yeah, of an athlete podcaster.
Yeah, well, yeah, athlete podcaster. Yeah, he's stupid.
Oh man, but with further ado, man, hey, let's meet our special guest today, man. Before he pop up on the screen, let me give him his proper introduction. Wally Green, a celebrity pro athlete from Brooklyn, New York. Woo, woo, that's where we're from.
No doubt.
Poverty and violence to become a world-class athlete. He represented the U.S. in international competitions, including a historic trip to North Korea, and co-founded a premier social ping pong club in New York. Wally's determination, spirit, and perseverance made him a true inspiration and a role model for anyone facing adversity. He proves that anything is possible with hard work, dedication, and a positive attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, let's meet our special guest today, Mr. Wally Green. What's up, Wally? What's going on, bro? How are you today, man? Let me give you some applause, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. That's right.
Appreciate that. I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you coming on, jumping on, hanging out with us for a little while.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Great to be here.
Hey, man, so when we met you at Podfest, man, I knew you was from New York, but I didn't know exactly where you was from. And you're from Brooklyn. And before we got on, me and you went to the same high school, man. So we're alumni to Lafayette. Well, Lafayette don't exist no more, right? It's like it's 3 or 4 schools in there now. So, man, I'm so happy to have you on, man. Tabletop tennis, man. A lot of people, I can clearly say for myself, some people may not say that's in the mainstream of sports, man, but I've been following you since I met you probably 2 years ago when I met you at Podfest. I said hello to you, but this year, I really said hello to you and got a chance to meet you and talk to you, man. And hey, man, I really wish we could have interviewed you there, but hey, we got you here now, man, and I appreciate you, man, for coming through, man. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase, man. What got you started in ping pong tabletop tennis, man?
It's crazy because actually I hated ping pong. It was a sport. I didn't think it was a real sport to begin with, and I used to make fun of kids in Lafayette High School who played ping pong. They actually had ping pong in Lafayette High School in the lunchroom.
Yes,
really?
Yes.
And I used to make fun of all the kids who played it because I played football, I played basketball, volleyball, tennis, and yeah, so I hated this sport. But I guess it was the way, growing up with a very narcissistic, abusive stepfather. It's just so many things that brought me to ping pong, which normally would not have brought me there. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. It's just so wild. I guess the first point where I started to actually get interested was when someone told me about a ping pong club. I used to shoot pool, and that was like a fun thing I did on the side. I thought I was good, but I wasn't. And one day I broke my pool stick. I got angry, hit the pool stick, lost some money, post stick shattered, and then I was looking for someone to take out my aggression on. I always used to take out, anything that happened to me, I would take out on other people. I could walk into a wall, and whoever was next to me, that was the person I was going to take it out on. And I look across, and there were some kids playing ping pong, and I just thought that was the perfect target to take out my aggression. So I go up there, and I go up to the kids, and I says, "Hey, I want to get a hit." Right. And they said, "You play this?" And I was like, "I don't play this, man. Just give me the paddle." So I took the paddle. The idea was when the kid hit the ball to me, to hit it at his face. And then I'd be like, "My bad." Right.
Aggressive Wally from Brooklyn. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And just, hit it at his face.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't know how to hold the paddle correctly to make that happen.
Got it.
And when I hit the ball, it went on the table as a smash. And the kid was like, "Oh my God, that was amazing. You got to go check out this ping pong club." And I was like, "What? There's no way there's a place where people play this, that get together to play this." And he was like, "I'm telling you, you got to check it out." And, the athlete in me wanted to go check it out because sports was my balance, right? One side was the violence and gangs, and the other side was sports. And that kept me less violent. So any kind of sport, I was sort of kind of interested, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I went down to this place. It was another pool hall that had about maybe 9 ping pong tables. And when I walked in, I was hearing people going, "Oh, oh," and making a lot of noise. And I saw them standing far from the table. But the most important thing was that I saw every single person that day in that club was black. And I was like, "Hold on, wait a minute. Black people play this?" And that's what got my first interest, was seeing people like me actually playing this sport that I thought was like a sport for girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you say that, man. I can truly say that for me for playing golf. When Tiger Woods came on the scene, I thought golf was boring. I just thought it was for old white guys who played. I didn't think it was for me. And then when I saw Tiger bust on the scene, I was like, "Oh, shoot. I can do something like this." I bought me a pair of golf clubs, and I've been golfing ever since, man. And it's important, like how a person, like you said, when a person, like you said, that may look like you, that's impressionable, man. That's something where you can like latch on, you can hold on, and be like, "Man, I can do that too, man."
Especially as a kid, young kid, if you don't have too much outlets or avenues, or you don't see much, or you haven't experienced much, that's it's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. So from there, once you've seen that, then how did this progress? So how old would you say you are about this time?
Probably at the time like 16, 17.
16, 17. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The basketball dreams, football dreams, or whatever.
Man, listen, bro.
We all had them, man. I had them too, but I once I found out I didn't hit the genetic lottery, I just said, "You know what, forget it, man." Yeah,
I played baseball at Lafayette, Wally. So, yeah, I did. So but after that, I did something else.
Yeah.
The basketball dreams were probably the biggest of my dreams. I was a really, really good basketball player since I was a kid. So I played. Do you remember? Do you know Most Precious Blood? Do you remember that church?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They had Flames. You remember those the traveling team, the CYO leagues?
Yes.
So I played on all those leagues. I was
really?
MVP. Yeah, and I was a really good basketball player as a kid. But the problem is I learned to play small forward. So I always played small forward, and that was the only position I ever learned. And I was really good at it. I watched a lot of Michael Jordan stuff. I watched a lot of just big mans and how they post. I was very good at positioning. I could grab rebounds. I was fast. I just couldn't shoot threes, but I could take it to the hole, and I was just really good. And I stopped growing, and that's what happened. And
that'll do it. That'll do it.
It was. Hey, I'll tell you a funny story. No one knows this, but it's funny. It was so bad to where we cheated one time. So I tell you, this is a funny story. So there was, oh man, what was the name of the other league? It was Manchester Blood, St. Mary's. So actually, I was older. I was like a year older for the team that I was playing for.
Oh, you pulled some Felipe Lopez. What was it, Felipe? What was the dude back in the day that played baseball?
Oh,
Yo,
no,
they thought
yeah.
they thought he was 13 or 12, or he said he was actually 15, 16 years old. Oh my God.
I was trying to save my hoop dreams, man. So
Yeah.
I left Flames, right? And I've been playing with Flames since I was a kid. So I left Flames and I went to St. Mary's, and they knew that I was like a year and a half older, right? So they were like, let's do it, because they never won a championship. They never won. So it was me and this Indian kid who was nasty with the threes, right? So we were undefeated season, and then you know, all these church leagues, they have to come play each other. So when they played Flames, I just didn't show up for that match because they would know.
They already knew.
Yeah, and then somehow they found out that my name was on the roster, and what they did was they actually complained about it. And so it was like, yo, so then the organization was like, oh, we need to see a birth certificate.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the coach at the time was like, hey, just forge the birth certificate. Right? So
we think for a championship, man. We need that championship.
We tried to forge the birth certificate, but then we all got caught. And then the coach was like, listen, you got to say that we didn't know anything about this.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I just took the rap, and the season was forfeit. It was undefeated season, and they beat Most Precious Blood without me. So yeah, but yeah. So
hey, man.
I had a lot of dreams back then.
At least I know you're a stand-up individual. You took the rap. You took the rap.
Yeah, it was funny.
You brought me back though to the time. You're right. I remember the Flames when I was in high school over there. They was a big deal over there in that area as far as, including the South Brooklyn area, as far as you know, church basketball and things of that nature, man. So yeah, man, you take me down memory lane. That's a very funny story, bro.
Word.
All right, so you transition through that, right? You're 16, you're growing up.
Yeah.
You get into it. So what made you like, yo, I'm going to stick to this and continue this?
Yeah, so
any mentors or anything like that?
Yeah, so what happened was that was 14. So by 16, I was kind of like living on the streets because I had an incident at home where I was going to take my stepfather's life for beating up my mom, and then I was going to take my mom's life for protecting him and my mom called the police and said that my husband's trying to kill. I mean, my son's trying to kill my husband. But meanwhile, she didn't say that my husband's choking me to death and my son's trying to protect me. And you know, I just lost it, and you know, I went and got a gun and was going to shoot my stepfather, and you know, I was going to shoot my mom because of it. And that was just a really when I talk about it, it's tough, but
I got you, bro.
It was like a really deep time in my life because, you know, the person that you want to protect all your life, like kids, we're born to protect our mom without even anyone telling us. It's just a natural thing. If you have kids at home and you go and like play a game and like grab your wife and watch your wife say, help me, and watch the kids run to her. And have your wife do the same thing to you. Oh, yeah. And see the kid laugh at you.
Oh yeah.
We don't teach them this. So as a kid, I always wanted to protect my mom. I see my mom get beat up all the time. And and you know, that betrayal was really tough to take. But I was able to remember all the things that my stepfather said to me. You know, you'll never be successful. You'll be dead. You'll be in jail. Anything you touch will be a failure. And, you know, I thought at that moment that if I do this, everything my stepfather said is going to happen today. It's going to happen right here. And I hated my stepfather more. And I didn't want anything for him anything he said to ever become true than to take both their lives. That meant more to me. And so, I kind of walked away from that. And, that's around the time where I found the ping pong and found that ping pong club. So, now things are I wouldn't say getting better, but I'm having different interests now, right? And that's when the ping pong came along. And now I find this ping pong club, as I mentioned before. And at the ping pong club, I met a guy who came up to me random one day and said, hey, do you have a partner? Now, I wasn't great. Remember, I'm just starting. But I am, when it comes to sports, I pick them up really quickly. And anything that's basic in that sport is immediate for me. Like, I can pick it up fast. So I could do the basic hitting, forehand, backhand, just basic. And this guy came and he says, hey, do you have a partner? And I was like, no, because nobody really wanted to play with me because I wasn't that good.
Right.
He says, listen, I'll pay you $20 every time we play. If you can be my partner, just hitting back and forth. And I was like, yeah, because, like I said, at that time I was living in the streets, to get $20 from this guy, it was a lot, right? It meant a lot. So I would play with this guy once, twice a week. And, we became friends. And, I would talk. I was always open about what's going on in my life, right? And I told him, my parents are dead to me, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And for him, it was more like TV, right? It's like a TV show because, he come from a good family. If you don't know anyone who's come from that life,
right,
it's hard to understand, right?
Right.
It's really hard to understand how kids have guns. You'd be surprised. Like I did a talk before the pandemic at this really, really super rich country club in Colorado, right? We're talking about billionaires. And you can't believe how some of these people could not believe that a 13-year-old could get a gun. They're like, well, it's almost so crazy that like for me, when I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's messed up. Like, it doesn't make me say, oh my God, really?
Yeah,
what?
right.
Easy. So for him, it was the same thing. It was more like TV. And then one day I went to the club and a 22 fell on my bag. And he saw it. He looked at me, I looked at him, and I wasn't trying to stay there to see what he was going to say. I don't know what he's going to do, call the police. And then I said, listen, I got to go. And then for me, I thought that was going to be the end of the contact, right? For me, that was, okay, yeah, this is done. But the guy called me 2 days later, and the guy says, hey, are we still playing? And I was like, what? And he says, yeah. And I said, okay. So I go meet the guy again. We play, and he goes, hey, I want to invite you to my home. And I thought that was weird, right? Because why would you invite the person who just dropped the gun in front of you to your home? It's all kind of weird. And he was like, yeah, I want you to come meet my family, blah, blah. And like I said, he's the guy paying me $20. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So we go to his house. His house is he had a house 2.5 hours away from New York City, where it's near Hunter Mountain, where his family lived. He had an apartment in New York. And a lot of people go, oh, weren't you worried? And I'm like, no, listen, I walk around with a gun all the time, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
That's the least of my worries. But we get to his family's house, and his family's there, like a real family, right? And a real family, they got this beautiful living room with a big table, and they're passing food to each other, saying, "Oh, thank you, please. Oh, can I get some more greens?" Like some just real. For me, it was like some real Matrix shit.
Right.
Yeah, and I was tight, man. Because I'm like, why would this dude, knowing what all the stuff that I told him of the even now when I'm talking about it, it makes me angry. Although I know the reason, but just going back to that, why would you bring me to your house knowing that this is the opposite of my life?
Right.
Like you trying to show off, like what? So I was really tight. I didn't understand at the time what he was doing. later on, I understood that he's trying to show me how family's supposed to be,
Yeah, what it looks like, what it actually looks like. Yeah.
Right. And then he says, "Hey, listen, I know you like ping pong, because at that time I was liking it a lot. I was always showing up to the club." And he was like, "I really want to help you. I have a connection in Germany, and I'm gonna pay for you to go to Germany." And when he said that, in my mind, the first thing I thought about was Hitler, because that's the only thing that I knew about Germany.
Right.
I said, Germany, what? But I also knew, and I always knew, I talk about this a lot. I always knew the current situation I was in was a situation that I didn't want to be in. Even when I was out there, doing the gang thing, I always knew that this is not where I should be.
Mm-hmm.
I was there because I really didn't have a choice, but it's not where I wanted to be. It's not where I should be. And I always knew that. So when he offered me, this opportunity to go to where Hitler's from, of course I was like, yeah, I want to do it, because I knew that if I didn't find a way out, that I'd probably be dead or in jail, just like my stepfather said. So anything that I could do to never make anything that my stepfather said become true, I had to do it. And that's how I started. That's how I started to really get into ping pong.
Wow. Did you figure that was like more of an escape? Did you think like, this is it? This is my chance to?
Yeah. Immediately. The first thing but then there was a lot of things that I thought about also, that
the flip note.
The flip side of it, that kind of made it hard, because there's, and I always say this, I'll probably live the rest of my life. I'll be 80 and still be talking about this. Like, there's a lot of people that I influenced to do things that they shouldn't be doing, or that they, as part of the gang. There are things that I'm directly responsible for, and I just kind of like left and just disappeared. In a way, it's kind of messed up, right? Because that's your people. But then again, I've learned to understand that you have to you have to take yourself first, right? If you don't take yourself first, then it's not going to be a good thing. And I decided to choose myself first. And like I said, it's something that I think about all the time. Just all the other people who didn't get to make it out, who are not around today. And it's a hard thing to deal with. But on the flip side of it, I'm an example of what can happen when you try to do something a different way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think you're a shining example of that, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with being selfish and choosing yourself, because now you're in a position now, right, Wally, where you're able to help somebody else now. Who, as like you said, you go to these TED. I've read extensively about you, how you go to these TED talks, and hats off to you, salute to you for you trying to pay it forward, and somebody else's son, somebody else's daughter. If you're thinking about doing the gang thing and doing that nonsense, there's a better way that you can do it. Prove somebody wrong. Prove yourself right. Again, my hats off to you. Go ahead, D-Dub.
No, without a doubt, you said exactly what I was thinking. That is a commendable thing. And I always say choose yourself first. I'm a very selfish person. I'm going to choose myself. Yes, what they say in an airplane, man, you got to put your stuff on first. Yes, I'm that guy. I'm going to put my stuff on first. Forget you, lady. Wait till I get my shit on. Excuse me. Wait till I get my stuff on, and then I could take care of you. But other than that, yes, no, Wally. Now for it's always gonna go back to a joke for me, man. Even if it's bad, it's gonna go back to a joke. But I mean, the perseverance that you did, is the church play a role in your life? Did you have any type of guidance in that way? Did anything of
Uh,
that, even in that dark period where you was at when you was thinking about
I
doing
think
things?
um, not really, because
Mm-hmm.
my we as a kid, my mom used to bring me to church.
Mm-hmm.
She was all over the place.
Got
Like
it.
one
Got
day
it.
we'd be in the Catholic church, next day we'd be in the Baptist church. We were just like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a kid, you know, I I wasn't like praying every day,
Mm-hmm.
but when things got really sticky, I would always say, "Hey God, please help me out of this." You
Yeah.
know, so I believed, right?
Right.
I just, I guess the word is practicing. I wasn't really
Gotcha.
practicing, but I believed, and when things, especially when things got really dangerous or really dark, I would always say, God, please get me out of this.
Oh
Please,
yeah.
please get me out of this. But I was always honest. I never, let me tell you, I never said, God, please get me out of this. I'll never do this
I
again.
never do this.
Fact.
I know God gets tired of hearing that lie. Boy, oh boy.
So when
Oh Jesus.
I would say, hey, God, please get me out of this, and I'll try. I can't promise, but I'll try.
To make better decisions.
I'll try to make
Yeah.
better stuff like this. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Definitely.
What was your first pro tournament? Your first pro match?
That was funny actually. The first pro match was in Germany. It was German Open, and it was my first pro match ever. And it's crazy because I was training in Germany during that time, and I was training. I was training hard. I was 2-3 times a day. It was my life. And my first pro tournament, all of a sudden, my hand couldn't stop shaking. Like, it was crazy. Like my hand was going like this the whole time, and I got nearly destroyed, like badly. Even one of the people that I played actually practiced on one of the teams that I practiced with, and it was
Wow.
bad. The first tournament was just really, really. When I say bad, it was disastrous. The first one was disastrous, but the second one, was also disastrous, but there was a shining light in the second one. So in the second one, I got killed by, I think the first country was Russia. Got destroyed. Easy game. Second match, got destroyed again by England. I was literally the worst pro in the world, by the way. Everybody was better than me. Everybody. I was the worst pro in the world.
You know what? Last.
Yeah.
No, jeez.
Second match, I got destroyed again. Bad. Now the third match, the final match, was the interesting one. I played against China. Right? China is the best by far. China is better in ping pong than any other country in any other sport. They're that good. They are so good at this sport. They are better in this than any other country, any other sport. Doesn't matter what it is, right? And so I got to play against Chinese national team. Everyone's afraid of China. Like for example, if you play a tournament and you see one Chinese name the day before your match, you're like, oh man, I got this damn Chinese, bro. Like everyone says it. I got this damn Chinese. It doesn't matter what country.
As you say that, I'm looking up what May Long, and he's nice. You say, and,
just don't even show up. Just crap. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, man. So I got to play this, and I still remember his name till today because this was a very significant time for me, right? So we get on the table. First game, he kills me. Second game, kills me. I'm talking about like 11-1, 11-2. I can't even get 5 points, right? Third game, also kills me again, right? Now I'm down 3-0. 3-0. It's 4 out of 7, right? Oh, actually, no. First and second game kills me. Now it gets to the third game, right? And my German friend, he was playing for German national team. He's coaching me, and when he was coming to New York, I used to teach him a lot of just crazy stuff. He's a typical European German ping pong player. Doesn't really know a lot of cool stuff. And I used to say, hey, when you're in a point, go bo 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 bo. Right? So this German guy used to do this in his tournament. People thought he was crazy because he'd go pop pop, right? So when I was playing this guy, he was like, "Come on, Wally, come on, you have to fight it, you have to fight, pop 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 pop." so he gave me some, like a kind of boost of inspiration, whatever. Yeah. So I go and I serve the ball, and it was an ace, and I aced the Chinese guy, right? And then all of a sudden, the ghetto came out. It was wild. I was like, "Yeah, that's it! Come on!" And I started talking so much trash. It was wild, so much that the guy that I was playing with got really nervous because it's in this sport they never see anyone like me bring this kind of like really ghetto hard, like, "That's it, baby, come on,"
ball of energy, fire,
so
swag.
Yes. So he wound up losing. He lost the game to me. People were like, "What the hell?" Like, for an American to beat a Chinese in a game is crazy. So they were like, "What?" And so I beat him that game. I won that game, right? So now the score is 2-1. Remember, it's 4 out of 7, right? He wins the next game. Guess what? I win the next one after that. And I'm shouting and screaming, and I'm playing free. And then in the sixth game, I was up 9-6. 9-6 in the sixth. Now everybody's watching. All the top players in the world are watching this because this is not normal.
Wow.
It's not normal that this dude who just started playing pro is beating this Chinese. And my German friend speaks Chinese. So at 9-6, the Chinese coach calls timeout. And the coach says to the Chinese guy, he's yelling at him, "I never saw this guy from anywhere in the world. I've never seen him before. If you lose to this guy, you'll never play in this country ever again."
Damn.
Yelling at the guy. And then my friend's telling me. And this is actually a very important lesson to learn in any sport. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's what I did. I fixed something that was not broke. I all of a sudden thought, you know what? You can win this match. Calm down and focus. No, because that's not what I was doing to win the match.
Right.
And what did I do? I calmed down and focused. The guy came back. He won 11-9. He beat me. But that's when everyone in the world knew who I was. Because everybody, all the great players were there. And everyone knew. He said, "Oh, this crazy guy from New York almost beat the Chinese." Yeah, and that's when that was like the start of just me, really wanting to just keep going and keep playing. And I had to figure out, what was my niche, right? Because, like I said, the players in the world were better than me, right? If I can't be the best, what can I do? A lot of athletes in sports have to figure this out, right? Because only one person can be number one, right? And of course, you can shoot to be number one, right?
Correct.
But you can't be number one. What do? Do you quit? Do you just say? Do you give up? And then I say, you know what? I have something different that no other player has. I have the swag. I'm a black dude with his crazy designs in his head, playing a sport that he shouldn't even be playing. That win to begin with. And I started to notice this. Like when I would go to China, they would put me on a TV table in the prelims. Normally, you don't even get the TV. Normally, you're lucky if you get a TV table and you get it in one match. You're lucky. That's lucky. I used to get 2 of my prelims on a TV table, and I would get angry because why do you put me on a TV table?
TV table.
Yeah,
so that's basically like on boxing. They put you like the very first people to come start playing on a smaller.
You'd see me on TV.
Yeah.
I don't belong on TV, and I would get upset, and I would go to the association, and I would tell them, "Hey, why you guys keep putting me on a TV table?" And you know what they said? They said, "Wally, you are good for TV."
They love you. Wow, you a star, man. You about to mess up the bag, right?
And once they said that, then it clicked. It clicked. I was like, wait a minute. I don't need to be number one in the world. I don't need to be. I just need to be myself.
Be you.
Cool dude. And make great shots once in a while that look really cool, and I'll be the most popular player in the world. and all the top players in the world respect me. And I was never like, as good as the number one player. But when they see me walking through the hall, hey Wally, hi. The Chinese say Wally, hi. Everybody says what's up because they respect.
Nice.
You know what it is? They respect the grind. Because I used to work hard all the time. I work hard, and they respect me. They respect the grind. They respect the swag. Something different. And yeah, man, I ran with that.
What's your training routine and mental preparation when you play games?
So in ping pong, our training is really difficult. Like people don't realize it. I like to get the tennis players, because tennis players cover a huge court, right? And I would tell them, hey, you think ping pong is easy? I say, if you cover a huge court, you should be able to cover a small table, right? Oh yeah, it's very difficult. We do a lot of multi-ball training. The multi-ball training is when someone's on the side of the table and they're feeding you balls, right? So most sports are explosion followed by rest. So like football, it's explode, catch, slow down. Basketball, same thing. Everything, most sports are explosion followed by rest. Quick rest. Quick rest. And that's how you train. In our sport, there is no rest part. So when we train, there is no rest. It's timed. So I say, okay, so for example, in America, we do these drills. So let's say a drill. Let's think of a table, right? You have that line in the middle. So I might say, give me forehand wide, forehand middle, forehand wide, backhand from the backhand side, forehand from the backhand side, and then again, but it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't stop. I'll say do it for, in America, we do it 5 minutes maybe. In Europe, they do it 7 minutes. In China, they do it 15 minutes.
Wow.
And 15 minutes is wild. It's really hard. I mean, after 3 minutes, you're like,
yeah.
So the training is really difficult. Of course, we got to do the running. You have to eat right. You have to be in the gym. Because the sport is so fast, if you're not strong, you can't be quick, right? If your muscles are not strong, there's no way that you can react to how fast this ball is going. Right. So you have to be strong. Eat right, exercise. The same thing every other sport does. You have to do in ping pong as well.
That's cool. D-Dubs, go ahead. You have something?
No, I'm just sitting here amazed by this ping pong because I had no idea. Wow, you taught something new today. Like I said, like the same way you didn't think this was a sport. I had no idea about. I thought it was just recreational. I had no idea that this was just something else, a whole new level. So like I said, you introduced me to something. I'm definitely going to take a look at the ping pong. Now I'm intrigued by it now.
Listen, I'll tell you something. So there's something that I do, and I do it pretty often. And I made a whole video about why I do it. I beat 90% of random people that play me with an old iPhone 6.
Okay, you stole my thunder because I was about to ask you about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I beat most people that play me with an iPhone. The iPhone is not big. It's about that big. It's an old iPhone 6. Yeah. And the reason I made a whole video just about this. And the reason I do it is to show people how difficult this sport is, right? If I can beat you with an iPhone 6, right? Has no spin, no rubber, no nothing, tiny surface. Imagine what I can do with a paddle.
Right?
So that's the reason why I play people a lot with the iPhone, because a lot of people, they don't understand that it's physical. Like, you need to move. You need to be fast. There's a lot of things that you don't see. And by me playing with an iPhone, I have no advantages. Actually, it's all disadvantage down. So that means now I have to be more physical. I have to be a lot smarter. I have to be a lot quicker, right? So imagine if I play with my normal paddle. So that's why I play with the phone a lot. I do it all the time.
Gotcha.
And Wally, right on cue, I'll share this.
Oh, snap. There we go.
I went all the way to the Philippines to massively come on this dude's table and beat him with my old iPhone 6. I went all the way to the Philippines
That's wild right there.
Always
This shit got an iPhone 6, right? This dude got a whole paddle, a tennis racket, but
That's wild.
wow.
I definitely was gonna. I had to queued up because I was gonna ask you what came behind it, and you answered my own question. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm intrigued. You're muted. Go ahead.
I can tell you how it started though,
What's that?
because it's kind of a weird thing to do. But the way it started, I was doing exhibitions for the Tennis Channel Open in Las Vegas. So I used to go out to Las Vegas to do these pro tennis matches, do exhibitions. And one day, the person I was supposed to play with to the exhibition didn't show up, and I had hundreds of kids, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, with hundreds of kids, and I was like, and I used to have a BlackBerry phone.
We all did.
A BlackBerry flip.
Yeah.
Say, you know what? Let me try to play with this, and that's how it started. Was that way, and I've been playing with that. I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
Massively beating people.
Yeah.
Right. Have you played any tennis though? Let me just
Yes.
ask that. Do you play tennis?
Yeah. So my first racket sport was a sport that I do play pro right now. It's paddle tennis. That was my first racket sport ever. So if you remember, from Marble Projects, I moved to Coney Island, and if you know that Coney Island area, there was like this private area called Seagate.
Oh yeah.
Seagate, yeah.
Yeah. Remember that. Mm-hmm.
So I had some friends who live in Seagate, and Seagate had paddle tennis courts, and so my friends introduced me to that. So I played that as a kid. Then I played tennis, but I never loved tennis, so I never really stuck with it. And when I found ping pong, I quit everything. I just stopped everything and played ping pong. And then when I had my surgery 5 years ago, after my surgery, I went back to paddle tennis. Right. And I started playing more because I wanted to be outdoors. Because I had rehabbed indoors, and I just wanted to be outdoors. And I went back to paddle tennis and ping pong.
Got it.
You're a Brooklyn kid. You ain't never play handball? I know you play handball.
I was about to ask him that too, man. That hand-eye coordination with handball, boy. That blue ball.
Oh, Brooklyn cats on here.
Yeah.
We all play handball. So
Yeah, I played a little bit. I played a little bit. I never I don't know why I never got into the handball scene. But my friend, a friend of mine's, he might still be. He was number one in the country in handball. Yeah, his name is Timbo Gonzalez.
Timbo.
He's a crazy dude. He plays guys who play with their paddle balls.
Yeah.
Paddles against the wall. He uses his hand against them. It's wild.
Oh wow, kind of sort of what you're doing. Okay, so now what's some of your endeavors now? Do you, from what I read in your bio, that you have a ping pong club? Is that correct?
Yeah. So we opened up a bunch of clubs around the country, and what we did was we took the sport and made it fun. Like ping pong is not. How can I say? Put it like this: you're not gonna bring your date to the ping pong club. It'll probably be the last date you have, right? But
hey, you never know.
We want you and your date to enjoy it, right? So we came up with an idea where we would take ping pong, make it an activity, put it with a restaurant with great food, amazing bar, have DJs come in.
Oh, you're gonna get them now. You're gonna get them now.
Over ping pong, and that's what we did, and that's what our club is about. It's about giving you that experience behind the activity of playing ping pong and how much it is.
It sounds like almost like a Top Golf type of sport.
Yes, it is. It is very similar to Top.
Fellas, that sounds like date night. If you need an idea, date night.
Yeah.
Bring your lady.
What's the name of it, Wally? It hasn't opened yet.
Spin.
I'm sorry.
It's called Spin. So if it's in New York, spin Chicago, spin DC, spin Seattle, and so on.
Got it.
Yeah, and it's a great. I think it's a like as well as Top Golf. I think the mechanics of golf for a first date, if you haven't played before, I don't know if that's a fun first date. Shooting pool, of course, is not a fun first date if you haven't played before. But if you haven't played ping pong before, everyone can kind of hit the ball
Right.
Over.
And
Yeah.
and it's a great first date place, right? Because it doesn't give any kind of sexual connotation to it, right? It's let's go play ping pong for the first date, but there's music, there's alcohol,
Food.
food,
Hey,
yeah. So it makes it fun.
absolutely.
Oh man, this is all right, man. A whole thing. Where you want to see ping pong go in the future? You know,
Uh,
manager and ambassador, and you got you put your spin on it, Brooklyn style.
I mean, my whole thing was to make the sport cool, to let people know that it. People think it's a basement sport, but it's not, and just to make it cool. Right now, we're working on a TV show. I can't really say a lot about it,
Okay.
Mhm.
but there's something really cool that's in the works. And if this thing does go through as it looked like it would, it's going to definitely make the sport, a lot bigger, and people are going to understand more, what it takes to play it.
Hey, absolutely, man. Because hey, you ain't got to be 6'5" or 6'6", man, to play this game. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Nope.
I'm all in, man. If pickleball can make it, hey, there you go, right?
You go.
Pickleball. I
Watch.
got people calling and talk about, yo, I'm playing pickleball. My man said he's beating 80-year-old women playing pickleball. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I gotta check out this
I
pickleball
got
thing.
check out
So
pickleball. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
so the pickleball thing. So I how do I say it? I am probably the biggest hater of pickleball in the world.
yeah, we
I
here for the hate too. Go ahead.
you can find my comments on the biggest pickleball communities on Instagram. But here's the thing. Um, when the sport first came out, I think the people that started to play it were just obnoxious.
Hmm.
Like, oh, this is the best sport in the world. There's no sport. Bro, your sport came out like 2 days ago. Stop.
Right.
Stop. Please. This is such a difficult sport. No, it's not. It's like
Oh man.
the easiest. Listen, listen. I will tell you right now, pickleball is probably the easiest sport I've ever played in my entire life. Right, and I don't even play. So I'm sponsored by a company called Yola. Yola is a table tennis company, originally German company that an American bought, and now they own. I've been sponsored by them for 15 years. They now have become the number one pickleball company in the world.
Really?
Right now, they're number one on top of equipment in pickleball. And they really want me to play pro pickleball. I don't want to play pro pickleball. One, because I don't love it, and I don't want to dedicate anything I do. I take very serious. I don't want to dedicate my everyday to pickleball because
Right.
it's something that I love. I've played it to make a point. So, for example, just 2 weeks ago. So even before that, when you saw the video of me, that was me in the Philippines doing a speaking tour, right? Before that, before you see me playing those people, I was in a different city doing a speaking engagement for EO, which is Entrepreneurs Organization. Part of that was play pickleball with Wally, right? Something that they wanted to do because they love pickleball.
Right.
So I brought some paddles down and gave it to them for free. And I played pickleball with them. That was probably my second time. It was really easy to play. Me and this lady almost beat their two pros, which is wild, right? But that shouldn't happen.
Right.
When I come back to the city,
For the most hardest sport, right?
yeah, because they swear that this is difficult. And then they always say, this is their line. Oh, you got to play the higher players. This is their biggest line. So when I came back, so 2 weeks ago, I was going to PT and I was riding a city bike. And along PT, I saw 3 pickleball courts. And I said, you know what? Let me just stop by and talk to people. And man, some of the people were so cocky, bro. I'm like, bro, you play pickleball. Like,
Right.
what's wrong with you? Like, so this serious. And this is the reason where all my hate comes from. They were so cocky. And come to find out, those people that were cocky are trash. Listen,
Wow.
listen, you can't make this up. So here I am thinking, like, these guys are just, I've been playing this and that. And they're acting so gangster about this sport. And then I say, you know what? I'm just going to go there one day just to play. And I did. I went there and I played. The people who I thought were really good from what they were saying, I watched them play. They were so bad. I can't make this up.
Hey, Wally, we always say talk is cheap, right? You talk the game, but
it's crazy. And then I got into a match with their higher players. I didn't lose a match. Now, how is it possible a guy who's played this sport probably 3 times in his life can beat you guys who play every single day?
Yeah.
Of course, ping pong translates a lot into it. Of course, paddle tennis, my other pro sport, translates. But I shouldn't be able to me and another guy, beat these 2 really good players on 0. Right. And mind you, pickleball is a sport where they can pick on the worst player very easily because there's a line that you can't pass. Right. So if they just keep hitting it wide, there's nothing you can really do about it.
Right.
It goes to that player, and they got
that player has to play it. And that's what they'll do. They'll just keep, and that's how you know that's how you know you're good. When you play with a group of people who are supposed to be the best and they don't hit the fucking ball to you, they never hit me at all.
Yeah.
They
kept over to your partner.
Bro, you're supposed to be better than me.
Right.
So for me, man, that sport just, I don't know, man.
Wally, I hope this ping pong and everything takes off and blows up, man, because I'm gonna be one here, be like, my man Wally told me, yo, and forget about you pickleball players, man. Stop it with the being so arrogant with you make people hate the sport.
I feel like Wally's gonna make a TikTok today about.
Yeah, man. I feel his pain, man. Arrogant people, man. I tell you.
TikTok is coming soon, bro.
In fact, we'll clip this up for you too, and we'll tag you in it also. So
definitely.
Oh my Lord, man.
This is funny. Funny.
And then be like, oh, but you play ping pong. I'm like, bro, it's an Olympic sport, number 1. I said, number 2, I challenge people. I say, listen, let's put up 5K. Right now, we can meet anywhere in the country you want. Let's put up money on this. I'll play pickleball with you. You play ping pong with me, and we'll see how that turns out. But of course, people just yap, and they never about it. So yeah.
Speaking of TikTok, I know you put up a TikTok the other day, about 4 days ago, about what's the most hardest to what baseball do, right? Hitting a Major League Baseball pitcher or playing ping pong. And you got a bunch of responses from there.
Listen, I think the Instagram are even worse.
Really?
Oh man, it's like fights happening now.
So you just dropped the bomb and you just left there. Boom.
Well, people are like, because you know what it is. Like, people don't realize, and the reason why I chose baseball is because it's something that is really difficult to do.
Hand-eye coordination.
Yes, but people have no idea of what a serve is in ping pong. They people think you just hit it like this and that's what happens. And there's no way you could learn. But there is one correct answer. Everyone's answer is wrong. Everyone's answer is wrong. So that question is actually a troll question. If you see you can't really see from my Instagram, but if you follow my comments, you see that I troll a lot. And I threw that out there because I knew people would get offended by it, and it's a troll question. Actually, the answer to the question of what is more difficult, returning the serve of a ping pong pro or returning a pitch from an MLB pitcher, the correct answer is whoever. It depends on who's receiving it. That's the answer to the question.
I just see that. Yes.
It answers the question. But I throw out these things like it's ping pong. The baseball players get angry. Oh, what are you talking about? It's one guy came with like these statistics.
I saw that.
It's not that serious, bro.
Not serious, bro. Stop. Just having fun with it. But let me tell you something, man. That ping pong stuff, man. I mean, I seen videos and clips, and to see guys return to serve, and I mean, they be way off the table. They're not really close up on the table. I'm like, yo, this thing could be difficult, man. I don't think I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Actually, honestly, in all honesty, if you take average people, normal people, it will be easier for them to return a pitch. Because at least with a pitch, you understand what's going on. Like if I was going to hit a pitch from an MLB pitcher, right? I would first say to myself, okay, this pitch is going 90 miles an hour, right? So first thing I would say is I can't wait till it's here.
Right,
so
you got to be on it.
I would swing early with hopes that I might get it hit. You can't say that for ping pong because it's not about speed, right? If a pitcher threw a ball at you at 2 miles an hour, can you hit it? Of course you can hit it. But it's because it's so fast. That's why you can hit it. But in ping pong, it's not about speed. It's about the spin. And there's no way you can read the spin if you don't play this sport. It's impossible. So you're guessing every single time I serve. You're guessing. And I can watch your paddle and I can see how you're holding it. Maybe you're holding it like this. And I can serve a serve that's going to go in the opposite direction of where you're going to try to hit it. Right? So those things I can see and I can do, and there's no way you can understand. So that's why in reality, I would say that returning the serve, for an average person to return a serve from a pro is no chance. It's no chance. It's 0 chance.
Wally got it down to the science, bro. I'm telling you, man, you got it down pat, bro. I tell you.
I just want a friendly. When I come back to the city, I'm in Florida now. When I come back to the city, I just want a friendly game with you, bro.
Let's go.
I'm gonna call you up and tell me where you meet you at, man. And I want a friendly game. And I guess you're gonna play with your iPhone 5 or 4 or whatever.
Yes.
And put me on TikTok with like that. And you got another one.
Got it. Another victim.
Wally, man, this has been really great, man. Again, appreciate you coming through, man. This has been great. It's been inspirational too, man. Your story
is fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. We're gonna make sure we get this out to the masses, to all of our people, man. And
we didn't even talk about North Korea yet.
Before you go, we talked about it. Go ahead.
We didn't talk about North Korea.
Come on.
This Rodman story.
The Rodman story.
Dennis Rodman story. That's what I call it. Actually, you know what? Dennis Rodman going to North Korea was very instrumental in me actually going there.
Correct.
I wanted to do a diplomacy for world peace through my sport. There's a big American history. In 1971, America established relations with China through ping pong. It's called the Ping Pong diplomacy. Very big historical moment in American history. So I wanted to recreate that history or create my own history by doing the same exact thing to North Korea. So Dennis Rodman had went there and he had come back. And that was one of the reasons why I said that I would go through with it. Because I was like, hey, if Dennis Rodman did it, I can do it too. Right. And you know, I went there, you know, to do this diplomacy for world peace with no plan, which is a crazy thing.
Hell yeah.
It's because how do you do diplomacy for world peace? Like no one knows. Like what do you do? I had no plan. I have no idea of how, but I knew it was something that I was passionate about. And I think a lot of times when we're really passionate about something and we believe in something, the first step is just taking that action. So I knew I had to get there, getting there. If I get there, things will happen.
Right.
And, you know, I was able to get there, represent the U.S. I was the only Westerner there, which was wild. Like no other country was there. Nothing. All the countries that were there were the ones that hate America. Vietnam, Syria, China. It was weird. It was just wild and this American. But like I said, I had no plan. But I got to play against a North Korean, which was wild. And playing against a North Korean in North Korea is probably one of the craziest things that you could go through because there are no other fans in North Korea except North Koreans. Like if
So you on an island by yourself, pretty
by
much.
your, literally by yourself, there's like 5,000 people. They're all North Koreans. For example, if I go to China and play in China, there are people that are cheering for me, right? Because I'm an underdog. Even I'm playing Chinese, some are cheering for me.
So you talk about home field advantage.
Shout out to Stephon Marbury who played out in China.
Oh, listen, I got stories about him too.
Yeah,
But,
I bet you.
but yeah, man, I got to play this North Korean, and when we first coming out to play, so it was like the North Korean, the umpire, me, and another umpire were coming out. It's all North Korean, 5,000 people, and when they see me for the first time, it's wild. Like you just hear this sound, like this. And picture 5,000 people do the same kind of sound. It's like weird, man. You're like, holy, all right, this is real. We come out, right? And you can feel like all the eyes of these people. They're all looking. You can feel eyes on your body.
Yeah.
We start to play the match. Now, once we start, all that goes out the window. I'm very focused. I want to beat this guy. And I noticed every time I made a point, it was quiet. Or there was, but it's crazy. When he made a point, it was like the World Championships. And it got so loud to where I felt like they were being disrespectful and not just cheering for their man, but cheering against me, right? And I got angry a little bit, and I wanted to look up and say, "Why don't you just shut the fuck up?" But I didn't. I remembered the purpose of why I was there.
Glad you didn't.
I'm glad you didn't, bro.
Oh yeah, I would not be.
This Wally Green would not be Wally Green. the ping pong table tennis player. No.
Yeah, man. And I remember the purpose. I look up and I smile.
Yeah.
And when I smiled, it was weird. I heard like a little bit of chuckling, and some people smile a little bit. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So then we start playing again. I look up and I smile again, and then people started smiling, and I was like, oh shit. And then I thought, this is where it's gonna happen. This is where the diplomacy for world peace is gonna happen. It's right here. This is it. Connect with the audience. And I started to do that. I started to connect with the audience. And at the very end of the match, of course, I wind up losing. We're supposed to shake hands. And my opponent didn't want to shake my hand because, for them, Americans are the devil. We're evil. This is what they're taught. So he didn't want to shake my hand. And I talk about this thing in my TED Talk. When everything with humans is body language, right? If I don't want to shake your hand, but I have to shake your hand, there's a way that I'm going to do it, right? My hand is going to go out and my body is going to kind of stay back. So it's like me distancing myself from you, but just giving you my hand on the basis of this is what we have to do. And that's what he tried to do. He tried to do that. And when he did that, I grabbed him by his arm. Like, there's video of this. It's wild. I grabbed him by his arm. I pulled him in and gave him a big bear hug. So I gave this North Korean guy a bear hug in North Korea in front of 5,000 North people.
Talk about uncomfortable.
And breaking barriers. Tearing down the wall. I mean,
but listen, here's the crazy thing about this.
Green, tear down this wall.
Tear down the wall.
Wow. But here's the craziest thing about this. My phone, I'm filming all of this, is facing my back, his front. And I didn't see this until later. When I first hugged him, you saw his face was like, but then he smiled. That you can't fake, right? That right there, you cannot fake that. That's a human emotion that's real. The people cheering, a human emotion that's real. And what I say is that it's it's not our job to change the world. I think people got it backwards. Oh, we need to change the world. No, you can't change what doesn't want to be changed. But it's our job to plant the seeds for change, right? And by hugging him, even in defeat, hugging him and showing him love, showing him respect, showing the audience respect, even though they're taught to hate me, that's me planting the seeds, right? So they're never going to forget in a million years this crazy black dude with yellow hair and designs in it who came to their country and hugged their guy and showed him nothing but love and respect. They're always going to remember this. So maybe in the future, when the government says, "Oh, you know, Americans are this," blah blah blah, somebody's going to think and say, "Hey, you know what? I remember that American guy that came here," and that's how change happens.
Exactly.
Right? I just plant the seeds, and then hopefully those seeds grow into change. So it was an amazing experience, and it worked out. But yeah,
That's wild. But you know what? You did your job. You did
yes,
your job. You did what you set out to accomplish.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to you. That's fantastic. Fantastic story there.
Yep, and you stuck to the mission, right? And thank God you didn't cuss them folks out, those 5,000 folks.
Yeah.
You remembered the mission.
Definitely.
true. That's true. That's true.
You remember the mission, man, and that's just so important, man. And again, during this hour that we talked to you, bro, this has been very inspirational, very informative. Ping pong, like I said, I always thought of it like you said as a recreational in the basement type of thing, man. But you made me think of it more. You make me want to check it out more. And like I said, when I come up to the city next time, I text you, I'm call you, and be like, "Yo, I'm
Yeah,
let's get on the table," and you beat me with your iPhone 5 or whatever you got.
Probably blindfold too, man. He'll
Yeah,
wear your ass out, bro. Yeah.
wow.
we're probably a sling, man. Last parting shots for us, Wally. Anything you want to tell our folks before we go?
Um, yeah, there's always I think one of the important messages that I like to tell people, especially the younger generation out there, but it goes for the older generation as well. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask. I think everyone wants to be Superman. Everyone thinks that they can do everything by themselves.
Can't
And
do this by yourself, man.
it's not the case, And more importantly, and this is even more important, if someone offers help to you, don't be afraid to take it, because that's another problem that we have. We want to be Superman. No, I don't need help. No, you never know where someone's help is going to take you. You never know where it's going to put you, right? So if someone offers you help, take it, because you never know where that's going to get you. And that's one of the most important things that I can say, especially to the younger generation.
Yeah, that pride is something else, man. That pride will, stop a lot of blessings, and you just don't know. So that appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, man, listen, one more question before
Yeah.
Podfest. Again, are you going to do it this year on this coming year coming up, or?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
I'm 100% there. Part of the Philippines speaking tour for me was Podfest Asia. So
Really?
yeah, we had a Podfest Asia. I haven't posted that video up yet, but I'm gonna edit that and do that. But yeah, part of that Philippines speaking tour was Podfest Asia as well. So I was the closing keynote for Podfest Asia, the
Oh,
first Podfest in Asia.
gotcha. Yeah, I know they did that was back what was a month or two ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to go to Podfest.
I'll be there, 100%.
But
No
we'll be
doubt.
looking forward to Podfest in Orlando.
Yes.
That's I think it's going to be year number 11. Like I said, I met you 2 years ago, and I'll say this, and we're all Brooklyn dudes. And when I first saw you, I said, "Yo, that guy look like Cisco, man." I know you probably get that.
That's the first thing I said. Wally, I was like, who you talking about? The Cisco cat? I said, you reminded me of the dude, right? And I was like, is he a singer or what does he do? What is that? I had no idea. So because that was this past was my first year going, and
Right.
I enjoyed myself so much into interacting with a lot of people, and people that and trying to get sports chasers out there and learn so many different things. It was a total. I had a blast. Me and our producer here, we had a blast going out there,
Big
man.
guy D, yeah. So
Yeah.
That's funny.
yeah, so like I said, I saw you 2 years ago, and then I introduced myself, and like I said, when the 2 times I've been, it's always been positive at Podfest. Never had a negative experience. Everybody's trying to help one another,
Yeah.
grow their platform and things of that nature, man. And I didn't know it was such a thing for people like yourself, who come in there, to offer help and be interviewed. I'm pretty sure you'd be interviewed all the time there, because we actually interviewed a dude, a 55-year-old dude who's still playing professional football. He was seeking us out.
Yeah, I know this dude. This dude. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. He's Everback. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really cool dude. He was like, hey, I've been looking for y'all the whole. I said, bro, we've been here, man.
yeah, that dude's really cool. Yeah,
cool cat.
The thing that I love so much about Podfest is that it's sort of like a big family. Like, when I'm there, the times that I'm not speaking, I'm teaching social media. So I'm teaching TikTok, I'm teaching Reels, the do's and what not to do's. And I love doing it. I don't feel like, oh, this is something that, I need to get paid for, or I just feel like I'm teaching my family. I'm teaching a bunch of people that are super cool, that are trying. And that's one thing I love about it. It's just, that feeling of family, and everyone's chill, and everyone's trying to help everyone. Everyone's trying to get to that next level together. And that's one of the things that I really love about Podfest, and Chris,
Chris is the man. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in touch with Chris a lot. And, he's just an amazing person that really wants to help. And that's why I really love it.
Yeah, man. So it definitely is, man. Wally, again, thank you for your time, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got to link up. Like I said, when I'm in the city next time, or you down this way in Florida, I'm in South Florida, man. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
I know you travel a lot, so when you come down here, hit me up, bro.
For sure, man.
I got you. D-Dub's in the Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Yes.
So absolutely, we'll link up. We'll do something, man. But hey, we're gonna end this. D-Dub, you got anything before we go?
Nah, man. I appreciate you, Wally, man. Hey, like I said, we'll be in touch, and keep on doing your thing. You're definitely an inspiration. Your story is fantastic, man. Definitely, hopefully somebody could get something from this, and help themselves grow as a person as well. And there's no limitations on you. You could do whatever you want to do but you gotta be consistent with it. So and you show that. So kudos to you. Appreciate you being on.
Well, appreciate it.
Got you, man. Listen, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin Owen, your host and moderator of Sports Chasers for Daryl D-Dubs Warren. For our special guest, Wally Green, man, Mr. Numero Uno when it comes to ping pong, man, doing this thing. This is the Sports Chasers podcast. Be good, be blessed. We'll see you on the flip side. Be well. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.